Well, we are talking about unforced errors on this podcast. It's our second one in the unforced error series. And we started out last podcast by talking about, this is a term from sports,
A term from tennis originally, but
tennis, where
it's across the board with sports now.
you do something and just on your own accord. As I was thinking about this, Dad, I remember very vividly. I mean, I played sports. I had a lot of unforced errors, but I remember one in particular. My main sport was football, but I was
Mhm.
playing basketball. We were at the single A state tournament, that kind of towards the end of the year state tournament off
Mhm.
in the eastern part of Kentucky, if you remember that.
I do.
And I was playing, and I played a post, not because I was tall, but just because I can't shoot beyond 4 feet. Sometimes layups were even hard for me. For some reason, I had the ball at the top of the key, and my man, they knew me. My defender, the guy who's defending me, was sitting at the free throw line, a good 5 feet away from me. And I was like, man, I got a wide open shot here. 3-pointer, state tournament, in the arena, all the people. I was like, I'd take my shot. I got to do it. It didn't even hit the rim.
Wow.
It hit the side of the backboard and bounced off. It was so bad. It was hideous, right? And my coach took me out and said, what are you doing? That's not your shot. Unforced errors. And I was like, yeah, I had to take my moment. It was so bad, but it was all on me. The defense didn't do a single thing. They just let me make my error.
That's good defense.
It's great defense. Well, here on the Church Answers podcast, we want to make sure you do not have any unforced errors. And so we're going to be talking about another unforced error that we hope you don't make. And so welcome to the Church Answers podcast. My name's Jess Rayner. I'm here with my dad, Thom Rayner. And before we jump into the material, we do want to talk about one of our key partners, one of our sponsors of this podcast, Cheney and Associates.
Over 1,100 churches
1,100,
have said yes, so they can't all be wrong.
1,100 churches are working with Cheney and Associates. They are an incredible accounting firm. They only do churches. That's their specialty. They love the local church. They love leaders in the local church. They want to support leaders in the local church. And what they want to do is they want to handle your bookkeeping and your finance needs so that you can lead your church. Let them handle the numbers. They understand stewardship matters. They understand your time is precious. They want to help with both. They got all the tools. They got everything you need. It doesn't matter what church size you are. It doesn't matter what church budget you have. They help all churches, all kinds, whatever they need with your finance or bookkeeping needs. So go check out CheneyAssociates.com/church answers.
So I was talking to one of our Church Answers pastors, and he said, you think I can afford to get a outside bookkeeper, especially one the high quality of Cheney? I said, well, first of all, it is affordable. I said, but second of all, you cannot not afford to do it. I used the double negative. And I said, man, one unforced error in finance, and it's going to be a big mess. And Cheney saves you that. Every penny that Cheney gets, and they're very affordable. Every penny that Cheney gets, though, I'm thinking of it, that's an investment that will prevent problems in the future and make us go more positive in the present.
That's right. That's right. So go check out CheneyAssociates.com/church answers. Well, we're talking about unforced errors. In our previous podcast, we talk about the service time on the website across all.
So little, but so major.
It is a major thing. Well, today we're talking about the parking lot, in particular, the parking lot greeter. And Dad, I know you're excited about this one because I see you every single week with your neon vest.
Oh, I love
your flashlight wand.
Oh, I love my orange cone. I mean, it's kind of, you're too young, but the Andy Griffith Show has been playing reruns forever, so most young people know it.
Yeah,
it's like Barney Fife getting a bullet. Andy will give him one bullet, and he if he messes up, he takes his bullet and his gun away. I get my cone. I get my orange cone, and it has a light on it too. So even in daylight when it doesn't show, I have my orange cone light.
Yeah, it's a flashlight with an orange cone on it. That's what my dad's referring to. And this game, by the way, I mean, my dad's been in ministry for many years. He's been a pastor. He's been a CEO. He's been a dean. He's been all these things. He still serves the local church. So if you're listening to this podcast, just know that he is legit. If you don't believe me, come to the Church of Spring Hill one Sunday.
I'll greet you.
You'll be one of the first. He'll be in the parking lot, and absolutely love it. And so this really, I mean, I know you've seen this with other churches as well, but I know here at my church, this was an unforced error that we had.
And I didn't know it. And your mother is the reason I know it.
That's right. That's right.
Because she stays for 2 worship services.
She does. She's holier than you.
And she listens to your sermon twice, the same sermon, same music, everything's identical. I love your preaching, but not enough to stay for a second round.
Yeah. I haven't decided if she stays it because she loves it or she stays because it's so bad she at least has to get twice so it feels like one sermon. I don't know which one it is.
You ask your mother, you'll know what the answer will be. So here's what happened, Jess, and this is the story with your church. We've done so many parking lot assessments. I've got stories that I could probably continue on for an hour or 2 hours, just illustrations. But at our church, the church at Spring Hill, I was going to the car because I'd gone to the first, I'd already taught at community group. I'd already been to one service. I'd already had my fill of talking to people, which was a good 6 or 7 minutes. And I just wanted to get away.
True introvert, going to go hide somewhere.
So I go to my car, turn on the air conditioning. I'm going to start checking on news and things like that. And I watch cars start coming in. And they don't know our parking lot, but we essentially have 4 to 5 main areas. We have 2 that are in front of the church. We have 1 that is behind the building that is adjacent to us. And then we have 1 that is behind other buildings. So there are 4 that we can claim as our own. And the people will use some others in addition to that. But the first parking lot is if you come in the entrance and you go make an immediate left. It's not the closest to the church, but it's the first one most people go to. And so I was in that parking lot and I'm sitting there and I'm watching, it's full because that's where everybody went first. I'm watching some people, not everybody, go in there. And because it's not a thoroughfare, they have to maneuver to turn around. And some of them were actually leaving.
Yeah. We're my church is located in a business complex. And so there are dead end parking lots, which means you turn in and you can't get out unless you go back in the way you came. And so it's not great. It's not great parking at all. And so you saw them going into these lots that were full. You can't tell. And they're turning around and they're like, I'm out. Peace.
Yeah. And again, our church members knew that. So they weren't the ones that were typically turning into that. And it was guests.
Right.
And I knew most of them were guests. And so I said, oh my gosh, what if 2 families of 4 do this every week? That's 8 people. That times 50 weeks. That's 400 guests that we could be missing. So instead of saying we got to do something, I said, can I do it? Which was a little bit different approach than most pastors get. I said, if you'll let me be the parking lot attendant, we'll take care of this.
And I was hesitant. I was afraid. I don't know. Just giving you a first access to people, that was scary.
It's scary for me to be accessing them. I mean, oh gosh. But here's what I discovered, Jess. If someone's on their way into church, they're in a hurry. They want to go in and get there. Right. They're not going to talk for long. If someone's on their way out, they want to go eat. So it's perfect. A conversation is usually, hey, how you doing?
That's enough. That's all you need.
Yes.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
So I became a parking lot attendant because we were losing people, even though we had plenty of parking.
That's right. Simple, unforced error. But much like we talked about in our previous episode with the service time on the website, not having someone in the parking lot is an unforced error. You got to do it. Parking lot greeters serve as both a warm welcome and a practical guide. And here's the thing, especially for first-time guests.
Yeah, before they get into a building, they're nerve-wracked before they get in the building. If you can put them at ease and welcome them, and by the time they get to the door, where usually Jerry and Amy and a few other people are, then they already are put at ease. And I do a decent job at that. I don't know why, but by the time they get to the door, I've already had a conversation with them. Brief. Hello. Hey, can I point you somewhere?
Yep, it does. And I mentioned this last time in the previous episode. It takes a lot of courage for a first-time guest to come to a church, and you should have that in mind every single week about what it's. I mean, think about the last time you've gone somewhere new for the first time, where you knew you're going to be in a setting with a lot of people that knew each other, and you're walking into that. Think about how that made you feel. Like if you can eliminate some of that fear and do it within the first 30 seconds of them driving onto your lot. it's going to help your first time guests tremendously. We
Let
we
me,
have we have signage that points
oh,
guests where to go.
good signage. I mean, there's nothing on the exterior that is done poorly. I mean, the signage is there, the parking, the number of guest spots, all of that is there, but you just don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And
Right.
let me one more. This is just one more.
Sure.
And this is about parking lot attendants. So a lady came in that seemed ill at ease, and I looked in the car and I saw that she had a baby, just her and the baby,
Hmm.
and she was running just a little bit late. I did not recognize her. I assumed that she was a guest, and she's kind of looking at me like, "Where do I go?" I said, "Look, I want you to go right next to the door with your baby." And so I led her as I'm in outside, she's in the car, led her to that parking spot. And I said, "This says first time guest, but I want you to park there every week with this baby because
Okay.
you need to be close." She's been coming back. You may know her, but she's been coming back on a regular basis.
Hmm. Yeah. 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 And that's, I mean, that's a win. Even though the signage says first time guests, I mean, you can use that. I know a lot of churches that do have expectant mothers or new mothers parking. I love that. We're limited because we are in a business complex, so we don't have the ability to do as much. We have just enough for first time guest parking. But yeah, you can cross utilize that. I guess we could update our signage that says first time guest or new mothers. That's
Maybe, but then there's another couple that one of our few older couples where they don't have a handicap sign, but they have trouble walking
mhm.
any distance. I just like the flexibility of being able to say just use that
Yeah,
because
yeah, that's good.
it can't cover all circumstances.
That's good. See, and that's the thing. Many churches have sufficient parking, but visitors often don't know where to find it without help. Even though we have all the signage,
Hmm.
it's like you got to think about you're driving in. There's a little bit of like, oh my goodness, where am I going? What am I supposed to do? If you can find someone and they say, hey, there's that sign, it says first time guest, follow that, take a left, your spot's gonna be right there. And
Hmm.
just goes and puts them at ease. Tremendous ease. You spend all this time reaching them. You don't want to sit there and lose them when they
When
drive
they
into your
come in the
parking lot.
parking lot.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
I get a little bit excited about this because I've never been a parking lot greeter in my life. I've done a few things in my life, but I've never been a parking lot greeter. It
I'm
is
I'm I'm glad in this third/fourth quarter of your ministry,
fifth quarter.
you're finding new things. If you're thinking of looking at new things to do as a church, and you're thinking, man, I would like to have more first time guests in my church. You know what you can do? You can
Pickleball,
partner with
pickleball, pickleball.
Upward. Upward Sports. Go to upward.org/church answers. One of our partners want to sponsor this, one of the sponsors of this podcast, and they have pickleball. This sport that's been taking the U.S. I don't know if it's worldwide, but taking the U.S. by storm over the past few years. And they, in addition to all the other sports they have, soccer, flag football, basketball, cheerleading, all those things, they are
And
now
one
offering
of their new ones is 5K running. That's a
5K. That's right.
pretty easy one to do.
One of their new ones is pickleball. It's perfect for middle school and high schoolers. It's easy to learn. It's quick to set up. It's one of the best ways to get kids engaged. So whether you're just looking to have a league or just a fun time that you can open up to your community, go check out upward.org/church answers. Just get a phone call with them, get something set up with them, learn what they can do. They are all about making it super easy for you. They just need a point person, a contact person, and they're going to come in and they're going to help you do it all so you can reach those guests. You want your parking lot to be full. You want them to be driving in. You also want them to finding the right spot.
Mm-hmm.
Upward.org is going to help you get to that situation.
Hey, by the way, their VP of marketing is Jennifer McCraw. You know the story behind her?
Same name as
Matt's wife.
That's right. That's right.
Jennifer McCraw. So he had to change his telephone ID. So he wasn't saying, "Hey, doll," when the marketing lady.
Yeah, if you're new to the Church Answers podcast, one of our staff members, his wife, her name is the same as someone at Upward, and there was a confusion at one point with him, and so he figured that out. But yeah, they're a great team over there at Upward, and so go check them out because again, like I said, they're going to help you make sure you have your parking lot full. We're talking about today how to make sure you don't have any unforced errors with your parking lot. And the best way to do that is have a parking lot greeter. A lack of parking assistance, and here's part of the problem. A lack of parking assistance can lead guests to assume the lot is full and leave without ever stepping inside. And so we talked about that at our lot. There's these dead end parking lots that we have. But for you, it's, maybe at your church it has more capacity, but it's tough. I mean, if they're driving in and they're trying to look around, they don't feel like they can find a spot, they're gonna head on out.
It's amazing to me, and I've been doing this in consulting for 30 years now. It is amazing to me to do the parking lot consultation. It's been a while since I've done one, but our team to do that, and people do leave. You wouldn't think that. You think that, oh, we're going to church, we're going to find. No, these people are scared to go to church quite often. They're fearful. It's like me. I don't want to go to a new place. I don't even want to go to an old place if there are people there. So I'm always, it's good to put them at ease. And that's why I say every church. I was talking to a guy yesterday at a conference I was doing, a pastor. He said, I got 12 in attendance. I don't need a parking lot greeter. I said, yes, you do. You sure do. He said, well, I don't have any guests. So well, that's another problem.
Right.
But you put a parking lot greeter out there, and that means you're expecting guests, and you'd be ready for them. By the way, it won't hurt for him to greet members, or her to greet members as well.
Yeah. I think, there's that saying like, well, I don't need first time guests because we don't have guests. I don't need parking lot because I don't have a parking lot. Well, there's a bit of mentality there. You're not expecting them. Like I think one of the great things you could do for your church, even if you have 12 people, is go have a sign and put it out there that says first time guest parking.
Exactly.
Because what's going to happen every time your church members come to church and they see a spot that's empty that says first time guest parking?
It's the empty chair in the small group. We got to fill that chair.
Yeah. That parking lot greeter, every week they're standing there and their job is to help first time guests, and there's not any. What are they more likely to do throughout the week?
Yep, they're going to invite somebody. That's going to be their mindset.
Right. And that excitement of like that first person that actually comes. So this is it's a culture changer in your church. These little things that you can do to help, because regardless if your parking lot's empty or your parking lot's full, whenever that guest comes, they need to feel welcomed. Here's why. Guests tend to feel more at ease when someone is visibly present to direct them and answer basic questions.
I see it in their demeanor. I'm looking in the car, and if it's not a member, if it's someone that I can pretty much identify as a guest, a likely guest, I see it in their demeanor when I wave to them or I direct them. It's like, oh, I'm going to be okay here.
Yeah.
They've got this old fat guy out in the parking lot. He's being nice. He's being nice. So everything's going to be good. Now,
you typically have someone out there with you. You're not solo. I mean, I think there's a few Sundays you might be solo out there, but typically you have a team. Anytime, say you have you're usually the front line. You like to be out there towards the road. And so as they're turning in, how much more does it help when you say, hey, Cam is going to be the next parking lot over. Go, and you wave at him and he waves, follow Cam. He's going to help you out. Like, what do you think that does to the guests? Even hand them off to someone else before they even park?
Again, it's next level. I mean, the first level is one person is out there helping him. The next level is, well, he's not going to be able to stay with me the whole time, but he's giving me to someone else. And sometimes it's Cam, sometimes it's Cannon, sometimes it's my grandson.
Yeah.
So having that extra person, and look, we're talking about 2 people right now. 2 people. Now, other services, we may have 3, even 4, even 5, if we're expecting an unusually large crowd, but we do fine with 2 people.
Yeah,
and
that's
it.
Yep.
And like, I'm usually there on Sundays since I don't preach on Sundays elsewhere, but I'm going to be gone this Sunday because I'm going to see your other brother, Art, that other brother. And so I easily found 2 people to sub for me because we've been doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They love it.
They know it.
And Cam actually likes people, unlike me.
And every so, I don't know if you guys still use this, but we have walkie-talkies too. I mean, if you can give someone a walkie-talkie, they love it.
I went and bought walkie-talkies for the whole team. And we're Channel 7.
Okay.
I love it.
There it is.
I love our Channel 7.
See, there's so much fun. There's even a community being built of parking lot greeters at my church. The more I'm talking, the more I'm learning that this is happening. I don't even know some of the ins and outs of all of our parking lot team, but here it is. I'm learning right now with you guys.
You know that we wore antler lights for the Christmas Eve service.
Yes, I did know that. And I don't know if I want to talk about that right now. So,
Oh, it was so cool. We had 6 of us with antler lights on.
so cool is not the words I would use.
They were happy. We were all happy with our antler lights.
I'm glad to hear you found some joy at your age with antler lights.
At my
on your
age,
heads.
almost any little thing is joyous.
Nothing says celebrate the birth of Jesus like a reindeer.
Joy to the. Oh, well, it was fun.
Oh my goodness. The point is though, guests feel more at ease anytime. So the more the more you can have in the parking lot, more parking lot greeters, the more it helps. And then finally here, parking lot greeters help turn the first few minutes of a visit from confusing to comforting.
You get them in a good state of mind by the time they walk in the door.
Right.
Certainly, when Amy and her team greet people, they're going to be welcomed profusely. But what if you've already had an influence on them before they even get to the door?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've got a great welcome team. We got people that really don't just take their ministry seriously. They love what they do. And so they're going to be greeted well. But what if they've already been greeted and guided and at least given offers of assistance if necessary? And by the way, we have our big umbrellas ready when it's raining.
That's right.
We go and walk them to the door under the umbrella. And so this is my future. This is my life.
There it is. You heard it first on the Church Answers podcast. Thom Rainer just announced his future.
Yes.
Being a parking lot greeter. I'm sure there's an article coming out for that soon. Oh, help us all. Hey,
but you know, if things get tough, Jess, I can transfer these talents to Walmart.
That's true. That is true. Look at
Yeah.
that.
Can I get you a buggy to shop? Have a great day.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Here, going back to just turning those first few minutes from confusing to comforting. I probably should remind this to the parking lot team, but I do tell our what we call our welcome team, which is your greeter ministry. We call them welcome team. Their job is to eliminate obstacles for people to hear the gospel. You know, when you remember that they're there to hear the hope of Jesus, they're there to hear the good news of Jesus, they're here to hear the gospel, and what you're doing from parking lot to pew, you are eliminating any potential obstacles for someone to hear the gospel. If they walk in and they're frazzled, they walk in and they're all, oh, that was terrible. They have to take all this time, and maybe they don't even come out of it. But if you can, from the moment they drive onto your lot, the moment they set foot on your property, if you can make sure you're doing everything you can so that they can hear the gospel, that's an amazing ministry. Absolutely amazing ministry.
We have talked about so many things related to parking lot greeters, but let's just back up a little bit higher view, and let's just close by talking about the whole greeter or welcome ministry. Mm-hmm. What if you could have someone to lead your church or lead someone in your church to do this whole ministry? And we have that for $100 a month.
That's right. Yeah.
It's called My Church Staff, hospitality ministry, greeter ministry, welcome ministry. Mm-hmm. And you take one person in your church and you connect it with our mentor, and they're going to give you everything you need. You talk about something that is not an expense, but an investment, someone to lead someone in your church to be head of a greeter ministry. Wow. I would jump in it. We'll put the link in it. I hadn't even planned to say that, but This is such a natural segue.
Yeah, it's amazing. I know like $100 a month, it feels like a lot. If I could, and I hear my heart, I'm just going to break it down on a super practical level, because I know it's not about this, but I'm just trying to maybe put it at ease for spending $100 a month. If you have a dynamic welcome ministry and you've invested $100 a month, it will pay for itself with one family that starts coming to your church.
It'll be paid for in the first month for most churches.
I get that's a practical level, and that's not what it's about, but I'm just trying to paint a picture of how easy of an investment that is.
Well, it's practical because many church leaders say it's too expensive. So we're going to come back and say it's really not.
It's really not. It's really not. And this whole, my church staff, particularly, I mean, all that we're doing with my church staff, but this one, it's so important. It helps you not make these unforced errors. And so what we've been talking about the past 2 episodes have been fun. They've been good. We talked about if you missed the one before, make sure you go check it out. Talking about your worship service times, making sure it's consistent and not wrong. on all your digital platforms. In this episode, we talked about the parking lot and how easy it is to drop the ball, to have a
Boy, there's another sports metaphor.
wheel come off the wagon, a wheel come off the car. I was trying to make a car analogy. That one didn't go well. But the whole point is not having unforced errors. And so we hope that you've been able to pull away just a few nuggets that you can take back to your church and go, hey, what if we started doing this and just see what happens? Just see what happens, because we want to help you. There's another organization, one of our partners, that wants to help you. Their name is Cheney and Associates. They are an accounting firm that's going to help you with your bookkeeping and your finances. Go to CheneyAssociates.com/church answers. One of our partners, one of the sponsors for this podcast. They're church accountants who speak your language. They understand your mission. They know how to tailor solutions for every church of every size, every age. They'll give you the tools. They'll simplify your finances.
They're
All
the
you need to
best
do,
in the business.
all you need to do is get a call with them. Send them an email. Let them know that you're interested. Doesn't matter your church budget, your church size. They help 1,100 churches currently, and maybe after you listen to this podcast, there'll be 1,101. Because you're gonna call them and you're gonna see what they can do for your church for bookkeeping and finance needs. Maybe your bookkeeper's retiring. Now's the time to go to CheneyAssociates.com/church answers. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the Church Answers podcast. We asked the question, are there any unforced errors? And hopefully provided the answer when it comes to your website time in our last episode and in this one, your parking lot, that you don't. But if you do, go figure them out. Go find some solutions.
We got more of them coming in future episodes.
We do. But for these two, go just do one or two things. The gospel needs to go forth. Let's make sure we're not creating obstacles unknowingly for people. Clear those out so people can hear the gospel of Jesus Christ. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We're so glad. Give us a like, give us a share, and we look forward to seeing you on the next Church Answers podcast.